You're watching ABC7 News at 7.
I owe all my success to Florida's public schools, Florida's public universities, and the experience that they afforded me to reach this level in my life.
Incumbent Scott Hope is being challenged by Jim Daniel, Richard Murphy, and Joe Stocks. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. We'll have more on the Manatee School Board in a moment, but first, our top stories at 7. We are making headlines around the country, but here on the Suncoast, it is our continuing crisis. We begin tonight with red tide suspected of killing 4 more of our marine life. 9 dead dolphins have been found in Sarasota County over the last 2 days. In the span of 2 hours, Mote Marine receiving 2 separate calls of dead dolphins washing ashore. It helped recover and transport the animals to Mote Marine for testing. Scientists say the reason we are seeing a burst in dolphin deaths is because of what they're eating, which is making them not only swim in polluted waters, but ingest the toxins as well.
Part of it's because they're apex predators, so they're eating at the top of the food web. You know, those brevetoxins we think kind of work their way up. And again, I'm not a brevetoxin expert. I focus on our wildlife, but I think it's just sort of the way this crazy convoluted matrix works. They hit the fish. I mean, even when you go out to the beach, one day you go out, it's all dead eels. The next day you see a bunch of dead horseshoe crabs. I think it kind of just works its way through the system.
Experts say they don't see an end coming to the red tide cycle anytime soon. And ABC7 has been out in front of the season's red tide crisis, covering the story from every angle. Log on to mysuncoast.com to access our catalog of coverage, including answers to your most frequently asked questions. Tonight, the Manatee County Sheriff's Office is investigating the murder of a Bradenton man. Investigators say 33-year-old Christopher Boston was found dead along Bishop Harbor Road in Palmetto. A driver noticed his legs in the grass and called for help. Investigators say Boston had injuries indicating he was murdered. Detectives want to talk with anyone who may have seen something suspicious in that area last night between 7 and 10 o'clock. Call Manatee County Crime Stoppers at 866-634-TIPS if you can help. The Braden River High School football team faces another sanction from the state after an anonymous letter alleged several rules violations. The football program was found liable on 1 of 8 alleged violations. One player, Knowledge McDaniel, is accused of taking impermissible benefits and is ruled ineligible for his senior year. According to the FHSAA, McDaniel's mother was on the verge of being evicted and asked one of her son's friends' parents to take him in. Because those parents are boosters, that breaks the rules. According to the school, the family involved thought that they were doing the right thing.
And this is a case where it's unfortunate that the actions of adults, it's collateral damage. The student athlete did nothing to put themselves in this situation. This is entirely something that we have to deal with and work through.
The school is appealing McDaniel's ineligibility ruling. Montgomery says the district is willing to pay the fines and take the other punishments, but that's not fair for McDaniel, who will miss his senior season. Now let's over to ABC7's chief meteorologist, Bob Harrigan, with the first alert forecast. Bob.
Thanks, Alan. And the winds have changed to a westerly direction now. You can see from the Casey Key webcam through the last several hours, waves aren't all that big. The winds haven't been all that strong either, but the water does appear to have that brown tinge to it too. Red tide still being reported up and down area beaches. Although it is patchy, it's still around, and 88 degrees our current temp. Makes it feel like 99 when you factor in the humidity right there at 67%, that west wind at 10. The pressure actually coming up now at 1,008 millibars. Now, the rainfall that you see over Georgia and stretching off into Alabama and Mississippi, that is associated with a frontal boundary, which has really changed things up a bit for us. Typically, high pressure sits off the Carolina coast throughout most of the summer, bringing us that easterly wind component and then bringing the storms from inland areas off toward the west coast in the late afternoon and evening. But now, with that storm system, high pressure has been bumped down to our south, and that's allowing more of a westerly wind, and all those storms heading to the east coast this afternoon from Daytona Beach southward to Cape Canaveral, all the way just to the west of Fort Pierce. Some big storms near Sebring and stretching off into central portions of Highlands County tonight. Not much going on near the immediate coastline. Some of the outflow boundaries trying to get to the coast, but having a hard time doing so as a result of that west wind, anywhere from 5 to 10 miles an hour up and down the coast from Anna Maria, Palmetto at 6 miles an hour out of the west, and Rotunda at 10, Northport the same, and just Minnesota Beach right at 10 miles an hour. Out of the west, and the west wind will keep temperatures warm through 11 o'clock. 81 degrees at 11. Not much rain around to cool us down this evening. And the heat index at 11 o'clock will be right around 92 degrees. Alan?
Thanks, Bob. Manatee County School Board has had a lot of attention this past year, and not for the right reasons. There have been fights in the parking lot, meetings where nothing much has been accomplished, and countless feuds. Now, the school board has 3 seats up for grabs. Tonight, the focus is on District 4, and ABC7's Jess Dowdrick joins us with the story. Jess.
Alan, this race is a crowded one. 4 candidates are hoping to fill just 1 seat.
Scott Hopes currently represents District 4 on the Manatee County School Board. He was appointed by Governor Rick Scott a little over a year ago.
I have been the chairman of the Manatee School Board now for a little over 8 months, having been elected unanimously in November.
Hopes is a Florida native and product of the education system. He's also a former educator. In his last year of service to Manatee County, Hopes created a Citizens Financial Advisory Committee, providing financial oversight on how the district is spending its money.
We have a new level of financial transparency and oversight.
Hopes says he's helped the board function as a board, but as many remember, there was a dispute between him and another school board member in the district parking lot.
What people should recognize is that we had a board that did not know how to function as a board. They were not working as a team long before I came to the board. And what the viewers should look at is how this board has been managed in the past 2 months.
Hopes has 3 challengers: Joe Stokes, Richard Murphy, and James Daniel. Joe Stokes moved to Manatee County in 2004 when he was hired as an educator at King Middle School. He was then the director of elementary schools and eventually an assistant principal.
I think we have some issues on our board that I think I could help solve problems. I love being part of a team. One of the things that I see is lacking, I believe, right now in our school board is the teamwork.
Stokes values the role he could play in selecting a new superintendent if elected. He's also concerned about school security with 4 grandchildren in Manatee County schools.
One of the biggest things that I'm most concerned about is having employees, enough quality employees in our district. The teacher shortage that's coming is going to be a tremendous burden on schools.
Stokes also wants to improve the relationships and work in collaboration with the Manatee County Commission and city councils.
The building and growth in our area, especially our North County area, is going to impact the infrastructure of our county tremendously. Being able to be collaborative with other agencies is, I think, a critical issue at this point in time in our county.
Richard Murphy, also known as Rick, is also running for school board. Murphy is a former teacher, school board member, and superintendent. For 2 years, he taught here in Manatee County.
So I think the overall experiences I have, I can contribute to the board. I understand the roles and responsibilities of the board. I know what their authorities are.
Murphy's focus, if elected, would be raising student achievement and supporting teachers.
Supporting everybody in the system will produce good results. I think also extending the classroom from the classroom to the home by working with parents, providing programs.
Murphy feels his advantage is his passion for education and experience in the field.
And I've worked in Paris and Williams Elementary, I've worked in Palmetto, Tillman Elementary, I've worked around the whole district to kind of get a feel for the district. I think I know it pretty well, but I am an adult learner, I'll continue learning.
And last but not least, James Daniel, also known as Jim. Daniel moved to Manatee County in 1982. His wife is a teacher here, his son and daughter in the school system.
I was not happy with the leadership of what I was seeing, and on the day that they met with the county and did not obtain sheriff's officers as SROs, I made my decision that night to file because of the way they did not take the information in there they needed.
Daniel says he's done a lot of listening during his campaign and says the #1 complaint from parents is that the sheriff's office deputies won't be in every school this school year.
That'll be my #1 priority, to go ahead and start to get negotiations now for next year. And no excuses, no way, let's get it done, let's get it finished.
His second priority is the superintendent hunt. Daniel also valuing teachers. He says he wants to bring the school board together, not be a part of the feuds that have been happening all year.
I've got the best skill set that comes in. I've got the 35 years of financial experience. Scott Hopes loves to walk around with the big bound comprehensive annual financial report, and it's nice to read it, but I wrote my first one for the city of Palmetto in 1985. You know, it's one thing to read it, it's another thing to know what's inside of it.
Alan, that school board election, it is right around the corner on August 28th.
Jess, thank you all for our candidates debate. So meet us at the trapezoid next.
Dear parents, it's time for a pop quiz. What's the best kind of play for kids? Play that makes us think? Or helps us pretend? Or teaches us rules? Or to be creative? Actually, every kind of play is important because different kinds of play give us different kinds of skills. Help us mix up the ways we play. Okay, class dismissed. Now go play.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system could make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now, SoClean.com has released the world's first automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs and bacteria. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer, risk-free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
The SoClean works, and it's a really effective product, and I couldn't believe how easy it was to use.
SoClean works on all popular CPAP machines and masks, destroying CPAP germs and bacteria without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and walk away. Voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited-time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398, or visit SoClean.com today.
The Players Center invites you to explore the family dynamic in the classic story of On Golden Pond. The Tony Award-winning play opening August 9th is funny, thoughtful, and brutally honest. Call the Players at 365-2494 or visit us online at theplayers.org. On Golden Pond is calling you.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with the family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, fishing, or biking and hiking. Or play the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy the flavors of the Black Belt. Book your adventure at our lodges or stay in the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans, because love has no labels.
Welcome back. Tonight, Manatee School Board District 4 incumbent Scott Hopes certainly knows how to make an entrance. He was appointed by Governor Rick Scott to fill the term of Karen Carpenter, was quickly elected chair, and just as quickly, all the fun began with clashes with his fellow board members, even the parking lot standoff with board member Dave Miner. Seeking his first full term, Hopes has 3 challengers who say they hope to bring a more collaborative approach to the board. And joining us now for more are incumbent Scott Hopes and challengers Joe Stokes, Jim Daniel, and Richard Murphy. Welcome to you all. We're going to begin as we have with all these debates and giving you all a moment to say hello and tell us about why you are running for this position. And you are the incumbent, Scott, so we'll start with you.
Well, Alan, the Manatee School District is almost a $1 billion a year organization. And now more than any time, it needs a strong professional businessman with knowledge of finance and expenses and an understanding of budgets of large educational institutions to ensure that we get the best possible education for the tax dollars that are spent. A key element of being a board member is the ability to ask the hard questions, the experience to craft solutions to challenges, the experience to develop policy with a strategic vision. As an educator, a businessman, and a community leader, I understand and take very seriously the role of school board member, and I work every day for the benefit of our students, teachers, and families.
Okay, Joe.
I'm going to start a little bit different. My name is Joe Stokes, and I'm excited to be running for the board. Appreciate this opportunity. But I want to thank all the candidates that are here in Suncoast 7 for changing the date. I couldn't make it on Monday, which originally this was scheduled, and I just want to say a public thank you to my peers here, at least in this setting, and to Suncoast 7 for allowing this change for tonight's broadcast, so I appreciate that. I also want to say good job to our teachers and principals who got ready for open houses today. As you can tell already, I'm interested in school, and the details of school is what I know about. I've been a principal of 4 schools. I have been a teacher for 17 years in my career. I've been an educator in 2 states. I've worked at the district level. It's not just about business. It's also about the details of understanding how schools work.
Okay, Jim.
The only one here that has raised a family in Manatee County, put them through elementary schools, middle schools, high schools on both sides of the river, have worked with teachers on both sides, have worked with other organizations. I'm the only one that's spent over 30 years already of service to the Manatee community through other organizations like the JCs, the Red Cross, Southwest Children's Academy, and some other things. I think we have to have a very strong change in the direction of where our district has been going. We talk about being an A district, yet we've got 2 schools on the chopping block that if they don't meet the challenge this year, they're gone. We've already lost a lot of schools, and I think that we're kidding ourselves if we say that we're achieving things that still leaving neighborhoods behind, leaving children behind. We're doing an awful lot of busing from one end of the county to the other, and I have to wonder why, or we can't take care of our neighborhoods. Thank you.
Okay, Richard.
Thanks very much. It's an honor to be here tonight and to have a chance to debate with a former colleagues of mine, and also talk to people out in the audience that's watching the show, and I appreciate them taking time to do that. Everybody's so busy. This is an open house night for many schools, so they're very busy. And as a former superintendent, I understand how this day works. It starts early, and it's a long day for students and teachers also as they come into schools to get started and get their orientation process and meet their teachers and so on. So a little background, I am from Henry County originally, born and raised there, worked in business 20 years, served on the Henry County School Board from 94 to 2008. Decided to go into teaching after being on the board, being in classrooms. Went to work in Highlands County, taught middle school 2005 to 8 under Darrell Bryan, the former superintendent of Hardy County. And then 2008, I began to think about running for superintendent, became superintendent in Henry County.
And we have to pick it up from there. We have a lot to get to tonight. Our debate with the candidates for District 4 in Manatee County on the school board will continue right after we get a check on the first alert forecast with meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Thanks, Alan. And quickly here we have some clouds, but not much rainfall around. And this is Lakewood Ranch showing a few fair weather cumulus clouds, and some of them may produce a little bit of rainfall this evening, but not many. And it's going to be slim pickings, I think, over the next couple of days as far as any significant rainfall goes near the coast. There'll be bigger storms in the inland counties, and that's a direct result of that westerly wind. Now we have an upper level low spinning right there in the southeast Gulf of Mexico. That's heading off to the northwest, and some slightly drier air in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. That has limited our shower and thunderstorm activity, and unfortunately, it's not going to cool things down much. The lack of rainfall will keep temperatures pretty warm right up until the 11 o'clock hour, and you can see from the futurecast most of the rain inland and pushing off to the east coast tonight. We'll start off tomorrow morning with generally partly cloudy skies, a slight chance for a few isolated showers here near the coast, and you'll notice then as we move through time, all that shifts off to the east into central Florida. And then on Saturday morning, similar conditions, a few spotty showers, a stray shower or two not out of the question. Rain chances remain fairly low for coastal residents. A little bit better chance for inland storms late in the afternoon on Sunday. Now the hurricane season is really pretty quiet as of late. We have 4 named storms. Debbie is faded in the North Atlantic. The next storm up is Ernesto. NOAA has come up with a revised forecast today. They just put it out this afternoon, and they're bringing it down, as most of the forecasters who predict the number of storms have been doing as of late. And that's a direct result of the temperatures of the water in the Atlantic. The main development region is the coldest it's ever been since records have been kept since 1960. These are mid-70 temperatures. You can't get storms forming in the Atlantic when you have temperatures like these, and so that's a good sign. Major hurricanes, by the way, they're predicting only 2, possibly maybe none at all this season, which would be good. Now, if a storm gets into the Gulf, all it takes is one major storm to make a big difference. And you can see the Gulf water temperatures are quite a contrast to the Atlantic right now, into the upper 80s to low 90s across the entire Gulf of Mexico. Right now it's 87 in Sarasota. Temperatures cooled a little bit along the East Coast because of the rain, but generally into the mid 80s from Bradenton down into Venice. 85 now in Inglewood. The water temperature now at 88 degrees. Currently it's 87, but it feels much warmer. It feels like 97 degrees out there. Our high and low was right at the average, by the way, 90 and 75. The National Satellite Radar picture showing a lot of clouds and showers over the southeast. That's a result of that low pressure system and frontal system that's moving through. Hot out west, it continues to be a big problem with firefighters out there battling those 2 major fires, and the heat goes on as high pressure remains in control here. All the areas that you see in pink, that is a excessive heat advisory all the way up in the Pacific Northwest. Temperatures a little bit cooler over the Northeast. It's been a very warm week, although Washington's still at 89. It's 81 in Chicago. And then for highs tomorrow, a bit hotter in Washington at 91, and then look out west, 100 degrees in Reno, the same in Phoenix, and Salt Lake City will top out at 99 degrees. We're for boaters tomorrow. Northwest winds, not much wind for your sails out there. It's a light chop on the bays and inland waters. The water temperature I mentioned at 88 degrees. The UV index will be high tomorrow at 12. Forecast for the next 7 days calling for just a slight chance for showers on Friday and Saturday. Better chances for scattered showers as we head to Sunday and into the early part of the work week next week. Alan will be back just after this. Stick around.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call, and you cannot be turned down for any reason. Even if you have health problems or are living on a fixed income, guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance policies could work for you with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
My mom didn't have life insurance and the cost all fell on me. And that's expensive. We're still paying for that.
Yeah, we're still paying for that.
Call 1-800-218-4991 now. In one phone call, you can help prepare your family with protection amounts up to $25,000. There are no medical tests or health questions. And remember, you cannot be turned down for any reason. In fact, TruStage policies are already protecting over 18 million Americans. And rates are designed to be affordable, starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease.
When I leave, everything will be taken care of for them.
Call 1-800-218-4991 now for a free, no-obligation quote. TruStage offers plans to fit your budget with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-218-4991 now.
The body, it is a work of art and a powerful ally in the fight against cancer. A new approach called immunotherapy works by helping our immune system correctly identify and eradicate many types of cancer cells. Speak with your doctor and visit su2c.org/immunotherapy to learn more. Your body might just be your greatest hope.
ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Watch ABC7 wherever you are on our live stream on mysuncoast.com, on the ABC7 My Suncoast app, powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life, featuring traffic maps and live radar, dining with recipes, and My Suncoast restaurant guide. Visit mysuncoast.com. Click on the Apps tab to download the ABC7 My Suncoast app for Apple and Android.
Welcome back. We are talking about the Manatee School Board District 4, and joining us for more are incumbent Scott Hopes and challengers Joe Stokes, Jim Daniel, and Richard Murphy. Every election is about hiring and firing the incumbent. And Scott, let me start with you. Why should you be rehired by the voters?
Well, with the challenges that the district have, I have the experience and skills to deal with not only the financial issues that we're confronted with, the operational issues, but also along the lines of our education mission, which is our core. Among all the candidates, I'm the only one that has the academic credentials to teach K through 12 gifted, all the way through the PhD level at Harvard, Yale, University of Florida, and I sat on the board of trustees of the University of South Florida system. So I have the experience in large boards, governing billions of dollars a year, and the experience to move operations towards success.
And Joe, why should Scott be fired by voters?
I think during this campaign, I've tried to be positive about what I offer, and so I'd like to continue on that track. And I believe I have experience in the district. I was 12 years as an employee, so people know my management style. They know I'm a servant leader. They know that I'm interested in collaboration and building teams. They know that this board is not functional in that direction, and that's a dysfunction of the board, regardless of what our skills are. If you can't deliver a message, if you can't help other people be successful, that's what leadership is all about. And it's also about building trust. And that is something that I bring to the community and to the board.
Jim, why should Scott Hopes be fired by voters and you hired?
Well, as I said in the opening, we need a new leadership to have a new direction. The dynamic of the school board seems to be repeating itself over and over and over again. And if we keep trying to do the same thing with expecting different results, we're never going to get anywhere. So I come with some new ideas that have grown from watching this school board for 20 some odd years, with the good and the bad, with the financial experience to help keep us on track, but also with the team building that has been demonstrated through the organizations I've helped lead here and the accomplishments that different people can join together to get done.
All right, Richard, why should voters hire you and fire the man to your left?
Well, Alan, I think that they'll make that choice for sure. We all have different strengths and weaknesses, I'm sure, too. I believe that in my capacity, my former experience as a teacher, as a district administrator, school board member 14 years, and a superintendent during the Great Recession has given me a lot of opportunities to learn professionally and by hard knocks. So coming back here to teach in Manatee was my goal and help my daughter and grandkids in school. And I've been in the district quite a bit. I've worked in different schools and talked to many folks, and I kind of watched this change, the dynamics change of the district from 2008 all the way through this point. I'm not really happy with the progress we're making. We're making progress. I think the leadership on the board has been up and down. I think strong leadership and somebody with interpersonal skills that can lead the district and also the board on the right pathway can make a difference.
Okay, we have to take a quick break. We're just getting warmed up. Our debate with the candidates for District 4 of the Manatee County School Board will continue right after we get a quick check.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Another pair of satisfied emotions. Looks to me like elation and maybe some amazement. It's part of the Honda Summer Spectacular Event experience. You could say satisfaction comes standard here, just like the Honda Accord comes standard with a luxurious, roomy interior. All at the Honda Summer Spectacular Event.
We see it all the time.
Visit your local Honda dealer and test drive the Honda Accord, 2018's North American Car of the Year.
I'll be right back. Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
To be able to just get my son here and not think about how we will pay for it, it just takes so much weight off of my family. St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
You're watching ABC7 News at 7:30.
Welcome back. We are talking about the Manatee School Board District 4, and joining us for more are incumbent Scott Hopes and challengers Joe Stokes, Jim Daniel, and Richard Murphy. And Scott, I'm going to start with you again because you have said that it's more important to be effective than to have maintaining harmony on the board here. And it seems that there's been a lot of discord on the board since you've been chairman. Has that become a distraction to all the things that are in front of the board, from school security to finding a superintendent to the budget issues and raising the level of education in Manatee County?
No, it hasn't. And the reality of the situation is Mr. Clone was appointed to the board by the governor to help a dysfunctional board. I was appointed to the board by the governor to bring some sense of order to the board. The board didn't follow procedures. The board was not effective. The district had numerous continuous financial issues and educational issues. So the irony of the question is, if one looks at the board's function prior to my appointment and prior to me being elected chair, with the exception of a 2-month period of time when our board and every board across the state was stressed with the anxiety and the fear following the Marjorie Douglas shooting, and look at where the board has been in the past 3 months. We've achieved master board certification from the Florida School Board Association, and we have gone through a number of changes and we've been effective. We are down to only 6 D schools in the district. We've got $30 million in reserves. So the financial performance is there, the academic performance is there, and there has been orderly board meetings.
Joe, has Scott brought order to the board?
No. No. I don't think in the history of our district we have had board members try to remove the board chair. I don't think that we have had the community as concerned about our board, from our teachers, who are our biggest employee group, We have 5,700 employees, and about 47% of those are teachers, and they're not happy. This week, the communication that came from Mr. Hopes toward my contributors has created a very great outcry in the community. And that was a story that was in the Herald. So when you talk about being effective, part of leadership is bringing the team together.
You know,
how are we going to handle rebuttals?
Well, we're going to give you a chance, but I just want to get through everybody's comments first. And Jim,
I'm answering the question that you asked.
No, I understand that. Jim, you have used the word disgust. Now, there are a lot of different board members on the Manatee County School Board, and you know, there's been a lot of back and forth between them. So, I mean, are you saying that Scott, you know, has the entire responsibility for it, or
No.
it takes more people to tango?
The thing we're living out here is everything that happens, everything that is accomplished, everything that we get done is built upon relationships. Everything I've done in my career has been on the relationships with the clients, getting the things done. And the thing that we see here is that relationships seem to be tossed out. And the people involved seem to be disregarded. The ones that are right up front and carrying the load seem to be the ones that get stepped on the most. And yeah, that gets me disgusted. That gets me upset. I've watched my wife and a lot of other teachers sweat blood trying to take care of things. And in the meantime, the leadership failure after failure that we see at the board level, yeah, I'm disgusted with the whole process.
Richard, is it any one person's to blame?
Well, Alan, I think after watching this board in action, their dynamics for the last 8 years or so, when you have changes, you have veteran leadership and you have new leadership coming in. The veterans usually lead the new ones and kind of ordain them, so to speak. When you get appointed chairman your first year, that's a big challenge. And I'm not sure the board made the right decision. Most boards let you work about probably two years in the boardship before you go to a chairman. But that was their decision, okay? But I think what I've seen really is a lot of different personalities and a lot of interpersonal skills that aren't very effective. My concern is the overall picture for the district, the employees, the students, and the families and parents involved here. Being a former superintendent, I know what that responsibility is too.
All right, Scott, I want to give you an opportunity to respond to some of this criticism.
Well, I think first of all, my nearest opponent is referencing a comment that certainly was taken out of context. He has not been afforded the exit interview with the State Auditor General 2 weeks ago about findings with regards to some of our subcontractors, and those are some of my opponent's contributors. And that will be made public probably no later than November. And with regards to the selection of unanimously electing me chair, had to do with the need for leadership and to develop a level of trust or at least hope in the community that if they passed a $38 million a year referendum, that it would be treated effectively and efficiently.
But 2 points here. Obviously, you were elected unanimously, but obviously there were attempts to remove you along the way.
After the referendum was passed.
Okay. Who is the subject of the state auditor report? Who wants to respond to that?
As far as to who is involved in it?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody but...
I don't think we would know.
We haven't seen it. He's talking about inside information that's not available.
Person was put on.
It's not very transparent.
Paid
I think
leave.
the chairman has the position he needs to hold, because if it's not public information,
He
he doesn't
shouldn't
need
be
to
talking
share
about it.
Okay.
It's a repeat finding. It's in the 3 prior audits,
right.
so you have access
Okay.
to it.
We have talked about, in terms of one of the biggest tasks in front of the board right now is hiring a new superintendent of schools. The chairman has said that there should be a strategy that leads to the superintendent, not the other way around. Would you agree with that?
Well, Alan, I can tell you, I've been involved in national searches, and also I was part of the Manatee search in 2013. And so I think the best way is to have the Florida School Board Association and the Superintendent Association conduct the search. I've seen other search groups do it. They know pretty well what Florida rules are and laws and so on, and they bring in the people that have the talents and skills, and they vet them, and they also bring in people from the community and serve as teams on that process.
Okay, Jim, build a strategy first or hire a superintendent?
We got to have a loose strategy in place, but to say we're going to put a strategy in place and to bring somebody that's qualified, that's experienced, and we're going to expect them to implement a plan that they haven't been part of, that they haven't been able to put together, they're going to be held accountable for achieving it, and they haven't been in part of building it, that just seems foolish.
Joe?
I don't believe many people in our community think that this board could develop a strategic plan, evidenced by the things that we see occurring, whether it's the Citizens Advisory Committee and how the disagreements seem to occur on that. The idea of selecting a superintendent, the best thing that this board could be able to show is unity, and the fact that they will be behind a superintendent, not in front of the superintendent, and that will attract better candidates.
That's right.
Scott?
Well, I'll give my opponent, Mr. Murphy, credit because he's absolutely correct. And I began the process with the Florida Association of District School Superintendents and the Florida School Board Association more than 6 months ago because I was aware we'd be needing a new superintendent. And the first member arrived today, and after Labor Day, a full team of 5 members will be coming in, and all of the advice of the recruiting firms, the School Board Association, have said we need a strategic plan before we start a search.
Quick question, real quick answers because we're coming up to a break, but Mr. Murphy, you talked about you're going to take a wait-and-see approach in terms of the recent tax hike being extended because it only lasts 4 years. Why do you say that, considering our schools are really short on funds at this point?
Well, I can tell you that the sales tax, the school district gets a half% of one. The other half goes to city and county. And I believe we need it, and I believe our teachers and all our employees need a raise. They really suffered quite a bit during recession. Their pay was cut 10%, and they did concessions and so on. What I was talking about was the actual 1 mil property value.
Right.
The state took away half a mil 10 years ago at least. So the 1 mil is additional property tax.
And we have less than a minute, so I want to go down the line real quick.
I think we have the biggest challenge facing the district after having leadership in place is that 1 mil, because it was so slim, the margin of passing. The district hasn't showed the community they can be accountable and transparent. They have to earn that mil or we won't have it 4 years from now.
Joe?
If our schools are successful, if the business community, if the employee groups, if all of us are working together, they'll get behind the schools.
And Scott, real quick.
I came out in front of the tax. That's why the margin was to the positive. And we have a system of accountability and transparency that's in place. As long as the board does not undo the empowerment of the Citizens Financial Advisory Committee, they will demonstrate to the citizens that we deserve the money and we are making efficient use of it.
Okay, we have to take a quick break and we'll be back for final thoughts when we return. Stay with us.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TruStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system could make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now, SoClean.com has released the world's first automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs and bacteria. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer, risk-free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
The SoClean works, and it's a really effective product, and I couldn't believe how easy it was to use.
SoClean works on all popular CPAP machines and masks, destroying CPAP germs and bacteria without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and walk away. Voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited-time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398. Or visit SoClean.com today.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with the family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, canoeing, camping, and more. Or challenge yourself on Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy a Deep South dining experience. Book your adventure in one of our members' lodges or stay at the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
And our guest joining us right now for final thoughts. Richard, make your final statement. Why should voters elect you?
Alan, I hope they'll value my experience from being a teacher in Manatee County, a school board member 14 years in South Florida, superintendent 4 years, and also a parent and grandparent with kids in the system. I really value what teachers and employees do in this district. I want to be there for the employees, the parents, and the community. I've worked as a public servant since 1994. I want to continue working as a public servant. I am here to make that happen.
Jim?
I believe that we've got some serious issues facing us in the school board. I believe that we need to change leadership in order to make that happen. I believe I've got the combination of the experience, the skills, and the community contacts to help get that there. We've got to have this police, certified law enforcement in our schools. Being without that's the biggest fear, as I've learned from everybody unanimously says that's got to be number one. To divert ourselves from that would be very foolish, I would think.
Joe?
I believe this candidacy is about being a leader, building trust, and communication as the time has gone on in the campaign. I've been endorsed by the Gulf Coast Builders, the Manatee Education Association, Invisible East, Manatee School Counselor Association, Black Bloc Vote, and the Suncoast Retired Teachers Association. That's a very diverse group of people. What do they see in me? I think they see a person that they think will bring things together.
And Scott, you get the final word.
I'm Dr. Scott Hopes. I'm the chairman of your school board, and as an educator, a successful businessman, a proven leader, I want the Manatee County School District to be #1 in the state. We have a $1 billion a year organization. We can do better. We can be #1, and we can do it as a community.
All right. We want to thank all our guests for being here tonight. Scott Hopes and his challengers, Joe Stokes, Jim Daniel, and Richard Murphy. When we return, will President Trump be interviewed by Robert Mueller? Right now, let's get the final check on our first alert forecast from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Thanks, Ellen. And high pressure to the south of us, bringing some big storms along the east coast this evening. Some of those producing some severe weather just around Fort Pierce. This westerly wind will also bring some of the harmful impacts of that red tide into area beaches and keep that red tide kind of bottled up right along the coast of Florida. We need a strong east wind really to start mixing things up a bit. But look at all these strong cells from the east coast, from Cape Canaveral stretching down to Fort Pierce. There's even a severe thunderstorm warning and a special marine warning out in effect just north of Fort Pierce. Nothing going on here. All is fairly quiet, and that's a result of some dry air that continues to work its way overhead. It's going to stay relatively quiet on Friday. Even on Saturday, a slight chance for a few morning showers. Tonight, 1 or 2 lone storms could pop up overnight with the land breeze developing, but don't count on a lot of rain. Then tomorrow morning, a few scattered showers up about to the noon hour. Then most of the action is inland, pushing to the east coast. And that has been a pattern that's been rather persistent throughout this summer. Really, we haven't had that normal east to northeasterly wind, which brings those storms back to the coast. That hasn't happened at all, and it looks like it's going to stay in this westerly pattern and westerly flow right through the weekend and throughout early next week. Temperatures right now where it's rained, it's cooled, 79 in Orlando. Still warm in downtown Sarasota at 86 degrees. The Gulf of Mexico now at 88, and Sebring at 88 as well. Here's the forecast for boaters tomorrow. less wind out there for you. A light chop on the bays and inland water. Seas running less than 2 feet. And the 7-day forecast shapes up like this. A slight chance at 30% for a stray shower. Saturday the same. A little bit better chance for some storms. Comes in on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, but most of that will be well inland, pushing off to the east coast. Alan will be back with primetime headlines right after this.
If you think it's hot outside, just wait until you see even hotter savings inside. Only at Rugs As Art Hot Summer Savings Sale event will you find the lowest prices on a vast selection of stunning rugs, furniture accents, and accessories. This special event only happens once a year, so hurry in before the best selections are gone. The Hot Summer Savings event ends soon, so don't miss out on the best prices ever. Rugs As Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
I'll be right back.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes, B, console her,
don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Find out first at 4 on the Suncoast with ABC7 News at 4. ABC7 News at 4 starts with a detailed look at your first alert weather forecast to help you plan and prepare. We give you a fresh, fast-paced rundown of the day's top stories and videos, including breaking news, live updates, and traffic hotspots, all at a new, more convenient time. Find out first at 4, weekdays on ABC7.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
Checking primetime headlines, President Trump's legal team is presenting a counter-offer to special counsel Robert Mueller, who is seeking to interview the president. Sources tell ABC News the president's team is not inclined to have the president answer questions relating to obstruction of justice. ABC's Arlette Saenz has that story from Washington.
President Trump once again is trying to discredit the Russia investigation. He tweeted, "This is an illegally brought rigged witch hunt run by people who are totally corrupt and or conflicted." This comes as his legal team has rejected special counsel Robert Mueller's request to interview the president in person about obstruction of justice. On Fox News.
Why do you want to get him under oath? You think we're fools? You want to get him under oath because you want to trap him into perjury. Well, we're not going to let you do that.
Sources familiar with the negotiations tell ABC News the president's team gave Mueller a counteroffer. The president will consider answering, quote, appropriate questions in writing, but won't answer those related to obstruction of justice. It's highly unlikely those terms will be accepted by Mueller. As the special counsel weighs the rebuttal, a top Trump ally appears to be tying the Russia probe to the midterms. Secret audio obtained by MSNBC shows Intelligence Committee Chairman Devin Nunes at a GOP fundraiser seeming to tell donors Republicans must hold on to the majority to protect the president from the Mueller probe.
If Sessions won't unrecuse and Mueller won't clear the president, we're the only ones. Which is really the danger. That's why I keep, and thank you for saying it, by the way. I mean, we have to keep all these secrets. We have to keep the majority. If we do not keep the majority, all of this goes away.
A spokesman for Nunes defended the comments, saying it was unsurprising to see the media spin the congressman's routine observations as some nefarious plot. Arlette Saenz, ABC News, Washington.
Space cadets, your time has come. Vice President Mike Pence is reaffirming President Trump's call for a military space force and called it for its establishment by 2020. Pence also announcing immediate steps the Defense Department would take to reform how the military approaches space. It came during a speech to U.S. military and civilian personnel at the Pentagon.
Now the time has come to write the next great chapter in the history of our armed forces, to prepare for the next battlefield, where America's best and bravest will be called to deter and defeat a new generation of threats to our people, to our nation. The time has come to establish the United States Space Force.
In June, President Trump said he was directing the Pentagon to immediately begin the process of setting up the U.S. Space Command as the sixth branch of the armed forces. The Pentagon releasing a report to Congress detailing how the new space components should be organized and managed within the Department of Defense. First Lady Melania Trump's parents are now U.S. citizens. Victor and Amalia Knavs were granted citizenship today. Melania Trump's office didn't comment, but the attorney says the Knavs have been living in the U.S. on green cards since February. They are originally from Slovenia. President Trump has criticized and tried to end the very process, which he calls chain migration. Trump has fought to limit family sponsorships to spouses and minor children. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.